Hello builders and survivors. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build this fantasy house in Hytale. I'm going to walk you through every single step of the way with commentary, including a block list and decor list so you know exactly what you're going to need before you begin the build. And for the interior, we will do a showcase to give you an idea of what might look good in here. We kept it simple, but I will not be including that in the tutorial. That'll be towards the end of the video. And if you'd like to support and help this channel grow, we're gonna be doing plenty more build tutorials like this. This is actually my first one. So be sure to subscribe if you wanna see more from me and hit that like button. Let's go ahead and get right into the materials and then we'll get this build going. So for my tutorials, I'm going to be including the blocks and the different decor items you're going to need to detail everything out. Starting with the top here, you can see we actually have our roof blocks. We've got pink coral, pink cloth, pink clay smooth, and then we have pink clay. Now you can use different colors. We're going to be doing some kind of gradient work with these. We do experiment with green blocks, so choose a color palette of your choice. Then for our main walls, we're going to be doing white sandstone brick, white sandstone brick smooth, and then for our frame we have the palm tree logs, and then for the roof line detailing hardwood planks, half slabs, and stairs. And also for some of the framework we have the golden wood planks, half wood slabs, and stairs. We're also going to be incorporating some grass block, and then for our windows we have crude window, simple wooden window, and then for some detailing we have the palm tree branch short, the oak branch long. Then we have the crude and overgrown temple trapdoor. For our flowers and vegetation, we have purple arid flower, daisies. Then we also have red and yellow wall moss. And then for some of the lighting details, we have the lantern, as well as the small iron chains. And lastly, we have the oak branch corners. So the main walls are going to be 15 by 11 blocks. And then you can see in all four corners, we have the spots for where our frame is going to go. Now let's take a look at the blocks we're going to be using for the first step of this build. First up, we have the white sandstone brick, the smooth. Then we also have white sandstone brick. Then we have the palm tree logs for our frame. We're going to have the hardwood planks for the roof line and the floors on the interior. And then for the first part, like the foundation walls, we're going to either go with the marble cobble or the marble brick decorative. I personally like the decorative, and then I just have the grass here. That way, if I ever accidentally take out some grass, we can just easily replace it. So let's start with either the marble cobble or the marble brick decorative, and we're just going to go around and outline this entire foundation here. Again, this is going to be 15 by 11. The walls of the house are going to be made up of the white sandstone smooth and the white sandstone brick, but to make things easier, we're just going to start with the smooth, and we're going to build this up 6 blocks high. Once you've got your 6 blocks high, let's just go ahead and do all of the corners here with the same even count. And now what we're going to do is fill them in, starting from the bottom. We're just going to fill this entire thing in all the way around until we reach the top for each side and the front and the back. Now for our frame, we're going to use the palm tree log. And what we're going to do is stack 6 of these up in all 4 corners of the build. Now we're going to connect all of the corners with the exact same block. Again, this is the palm wood log. Just connect all 4 of these corners of the frame here. Now choose the front of the building where your door is going to go. What we're going to do here is we're going to count over 5 blocks from this corner here, and we're going to be using the palm wood logs again. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to place one down here, and we're going to build this frame up a little bit higher here. Now, you don't want it to be like this. We actually want to build these all the way up till we reach the top. We're going to do the same thing from the left side. So count in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this 5th one, we're going to put up another one there, and then we're going to get rid of all these in between here. Now let's repeat those steps on the back of the building. So again, we're going to start from here. We're going to go over 5 blocks. And we're going to place one down. And then from the right side here, we're going to come over 5 blocks and place one down, and we're going to build these up. And then for the sides of the building, we're going to come over 3 blocks from the frame. We're going to set one there, and then we're going to come do the same thing on the right side, count in 3 blocks. We're going to place one there, and then we're going to build these up as well. We're going to do the same exact thing around here on the other side. This next part comes down to personal preference. I actually do like for these corners here to have these facing that way. It adds a little bit of personality to it. We're going to do it on all of the tops here, and then we're going to go around to the back as well and do the same thing. Now again, you just need to be making sure that you're aiming at the block directly behind it. So let's add these in. Like I said, a little bit more detail, a little bit more personality to the build. Now we're going to need some golden wood, and we're going to need the half slabs. We're also going to need the block of the planks here, the golden wood planks. And last but not least, we need the golden wood stairs here. And we're also going to need some hardwood that we did not bring in previously. We need the half slabs, we need the hardwood planks block, and then we also need the hardwood stairs. So starting with the golden wood stairs, what we're going to do is we're going to aim at the top of this block, and we're going to rotate this to where it's facing inward there, that little corner. We're going to do the opposite thing on the other side here, and we're going to do another stack here and another one here. Now if you're wondering how that orientation changes, if you're new to building here, if you aim down here, it's going to be that way. If you aim up top, it's going to go that way. Then with our palm wood block, we're going to put one right up top here and then one in front of it. And again, we're going to keep it this orientation there where the kind of like cut piece is facing forward. And we're just going to remove that block right behind it. And now just to the right of this little pitch that we put in here, we're going to go to our hardwood block. We're going to frame this entire thing out here. We're going to come out a block. We're going to go all the way around the entire frame, and we're going to place all these hardwood blocks in. So I'm going to break this roof design down in sections here. Now you can see all I did was I created like a stair effect here. Starting from the front corner here, we're going up 1, 2, 3 blocks. We're going to do the same thing back here. Up 1, 2, and 3 blocks. We're going to do the same thing over on the other side just to demonstrate. So we'll go like this. And we're just going to remove these here. Same thing on this side. Remove those. And now you can see here, we're actually coming out a block, and then we're going to go up 2. And all we need to do to accomplish that is place one here, and then we're going to come out here and go up 2. And we're just going to remove these 2 blocks like that. And we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Again, we're going to come out and over 1, and then we're just going to come up 2, out and over 1, up 2, and just remove these ones underneath. And now what we're going to do is the same thing here, but we're going to stay in line with these blocks. We're just going to bring this out and up 2, remove that, out there and up 2. Let's go on the other side and do the same thing. Again, 1 there, 2 on top, 1 here, and 2 more on top. And we're going to get rid of this. Now here, you can see over here how we're doing this. We're actually going to come out again for this part. So the way we did that one more time is go out 1 there, right here. We're going to go up 2. And then we're just going to get rid of these blocks underneath. And we're going to repeat that step on the other side. Now let's finish this outline by just placing one in the center and one on top, and then remove the center. And then same thing over here. Now we can simply connect this all the way across to the other side. Now we're going to create these little hooks that come off the edges here. You can do this a number of ways, but I'm just going to show you a simple way. We're just going to stack 2 more on top. We're going to come out 2, and then we're just going to put one right underneath. We're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Now again, this is a very simple way of doing this, but you can use stairs and slabs, and you could really make these very unique. Now we need to fill in our roof, but I want to show you an example of what I think looks good. Now, we're going to be doing some kind of gradient work to give it a little bit more texture and detail. I don't recommend going with one solid color, although you can do that. And if you want it to look more fantasy, I recommend going with like the pinks that you're seeing here, maybe a dark purple, some greens, or maybe some teals. But all you need to do to start is select a couple of different blocks. If you want to follow exactly what I did, I'm doing the pink cloth, pink coral block, and the pink clay smooth. What we're going to start with is just by putting this pink coral block in. We're going to start by filling it all in with one color, and then we'll go throughout and place individual blocks to get that look there. So I'm actually going to experiment with some of the green blocks since we already did one in pink. Let's see what we can come up with. Now, just a quick tip for you filling in roofs, if you haven't done this before, is save yourself some time by just right-clicking and holding, and like I said, dragging it back. And we're going to start with just the one solid color, and we'll fill them in later on. And all you need to do is just make sure you're hitting every single one of your pitch blocks. When I say pitch block, I mean everything that's a part of this part here. So just continue to bring those over and fill in the entire roof. Now, I shouldn't judge before getting all the other details in. However, I still think I'm a fan of the pink over the green. And you can see I'm not the best at gradient. I just kind of went with some random patterns, but I do believe it's better than nothing. Going with the solid color, in my opinion, just looks a little too flat. So I still recommend taking the time to go in and fill in the blocks like you're seeing now. Now we're going to grab the palm tree log again for this next part. Now, this section here is going to be where windows are at. We're going to kind of want to line up with this outside wall here, just on the inside of our support. We're going to bring that up here to this section. We're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of roof up. And what we're going to do is we're going to knock these out. We're going to knock 1, 2 out. We're going to put 1, 2, 3 blocks here. Knock these two out and go 1, 2, and 3 in that orientation there. And then we're going to stack one on top, bring this over and remove that. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We also got to knock these out as well. We're going to come over here, same thing here. Line up in the inside of your support on the outside there. We're going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock these out. And then we're going to place 3 here. 3 there. And then we're going to go 1 in the middle, 1 on top. And we're just going to clear all 3 of these in the center and this one right behind it. We do want to make sure that these are all in the same kind of wood grain pattern here. And you can see these ones are sideways. What we're going to want to do, if that's the case, if you like it, you can leave it. But I recommend breaking these out. And we're just going to put them under here. We want them all facing the same way like that. It just looks much cleaner. Same thing over here. You can see there's a difference. We're going to knock these out. We're going to put 2 there. Same thing here. Now we're going to go with the hardwood stairs, and we're going to start to create another outline for this pitch here in the front. And the way we're going to do this is we're actually going to rotate these facing upward like this. We're going to do another one right here. This time you want to aim at the bottom of the block we're placing against. And then what we're going to need to do here is we're going to just place one here as a placeholder. Then we're going to aim at that stair and rotate. Bring that up. Same thing over here. Let's go ahead and remove these. And then from here, what we're going to do is grab our hardwood plank. We're going to place one there and there. We're going to remove that. Now you can see we're starting to create the outline of our roof line. We're going to do the same thing up here for these pieces. What we're going to do is go back to the hardwood. We're going to rotate these right here on the outside, just like this. And then a couple here. And we're going to bring these out by 1. Now, the one thing to be mindful of, though, is you do not want it like this. These have a tendency to be like, I don't know, you can see how it's like kind of chopped in there. We don't want that. We want it to be solid like this. Bring this one over. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go back to the actual block. We're going to place 2 up here, just like that. And we're going to remove that one. And we're going to repeat the same thing over here. Now we're going to create these cool little hooks on the top of these roofs. We're going to do that by starting with the half slab, the hardwood. We're going to rotate this to where it's on the outer edge standing up. Let's do this on both sides. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to rotate one out off of the top. We're going to do the same thing over here. And then we're going to bring one and rotate it downward right off the front. We're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. And then for some modifications to the pitch of the roof here above the doorway, we're actually going to tear these down right here. We're going to take the hardwood block. We're actually going to stack these right here. Let's remove the ones on the ends. And we're going to bring this up by a block. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the half wood slab. And just like we did with these parts up here, we're going to rotate this upward. Just like that. We're going to do one right here off the front on the top. And then we're going to come down underneath here and rotate one underneath on the front. Or I should say on the front of it, not underneath it. My bad. And then we're going to go over to the hardwood stairs. We're going to place these right in the corners, just like this. Next, we want to line ourselves up center with the house here. We're going to go all the way up to the top of the roof here. We're going to take the hardwood blocks and we're going to stack 6 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to bring this out. Depends on which way you want it to go. We're going to create another like little curl here. You can go to the right or the left. Let's go to the left here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 blocks to the left. Now we're going to come down underneath and go 1, 2. And then we're going to bring one hooking in towards the inside. Now from here, what we're going to do is going to place 1 block here in the corner. And we're going to stack this up 2 blocks. Now we're going to go on over to our hardwood stairs. I'm going to place one right down here in the corner. I'm going to place another one here in the corner. And then on this side here, we're going to go ahead and switch over to the actual half slabs. We're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to remove this. We're going to put stairs in there. So we're going to rotate the stairs to where it's actually facing outward like this to give us a little extra detail off the side there. And then, you know what? This looks a little hollow here. We can do one of two things. We can either stack some stairs in the corner like this. That looks a little bit too much of like a staircase. Let's get rid of that. We're going to take the half slab. We're just going to place one right there. Now we're going to start to punch out some of these blocks so that we can create some openings for our doorways and windows. We're going to start here. We're in the front of the house under the doorway. We're going to go with these 3 center blocks here. Then for these windows, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Same thing over here. Now on this side, we're going to punch out the 3 in the center of these supports. On the back of the house, same thing. We're going to go 3 right here. For this side, same thing. Now we can go to windows, and you can really choose whatever you want. I think a really good window that you can see through is the simple wooden window. That's what I like to use. We're going to grab those, and we're going to place these around. Now these are just going to be pretty self-explanatory. We're going to stack these in here. We're going to go around for all of our windows and just fill these in. Again, feel free to use any windows that you want. Whatever you think looks good. Totally up to you. Does not have to be these by any stretch. Make it your own. Do what you got to do. And also with this window, I'm not sure how I feel about this window. It kind of makes making rooms on the inside of this house, since it's such a small house, kind of difficult to plan rooms around. So feel free to move, you know, the windows around wherever you please. And then we're also going to put these here as well. Now we're going to be using our hardwood stairs, but we're also going to grab some grass blocks because we're going to create some little planters for our windows. Now we can start by going around these front windows here. We're actually going to take the hardwood stairs and we're going to rotate these just like this and put another one here on the opposite end. Same thing over here on the other side. So one there and one here. Now I do want to show you another optional thing that's really neat. Now you can kind of get rid of these top windows. They look okay like that, but what I like doing is actually selecting one of the darker blocks from the actual roof itself. So you can see here we have the green clay. You can actually break these windows out and put those in, and if you take a look, it creates this nice little green kind of design on the front there. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. You can keep the windows, or you can go with a lighter green color. But yeah, totally up to you on what you want to do with that. Just wanted to give you another option. Now, underneath these front windows here, we're going to put down 2 grass blocks, just like this. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to go search trap to grab some trap doors. There's a ton of different options. I don't really know which one's going to look great with the green, but I did use the overgrown temple trapdoor for the reference in the thumbnail in that pink house. Let's just go ahead and slap these on and see what they look like, or at least let me show you how to do it. So we're going to place these here. We're also going to place this in the corner. Now, I recommend for these ones, though, we want to rotate that until you can actually see those nubs, or whatever nubs, or whatever you want to call those. I don't know. We're going to place that like that. And then for these corner ones, you got to be mindful of rotation. We want it to where those like notches on the top are facing inward. So we're going to rotate the same thing here. If you just try to place them like this for whatever reason, they don't go where they're supposed to. So again, we're going to rotate just like this. And then what we want to do is just interact with them to drop them down. And then we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. And now we're just going to go around all of our windows. For the side windows, we're going to put 3 of these in. And then we're also going to put the exact same trap doors on. Make sure to do your sides as well. Same thing for the rear window. And the side over here. And we're also going to come up to the top here, and we're going to grab the grass blocks again. We're going to put planters here. We're going to do 3 across the window. And this time, though, we're going to use a different trapdoor. Actually, we're going to go with the crude trapdoor. So let's drag that into the inventory, and let's put these on the front and the sides. Now for the sides and the rear window, we're actually going to take the hardwood planks here. We're going to rotate this one directly above the window, and then we're going to take our stairs and we're going to rotate these off to the right and left sides, just like this. And we're going to go back to the windows. We're going to grab this crude window here. We're going to knock out this block right above the doorway here. It's not the one directly above this little awning. It's the second one up, right in the middle here. We're going to place this window right there. Now, before we start to do our detailing, we need to go back to our white sandstone brick smooth, and we need to fill in this area of our roof here. We're going to bring these blocks all the way across on both sides. Then with our palm wood trunk, we're going to go right up the center here. We're going to bring this down till we reach the bottom. And you want to, again, you don't want them like this. We want to make sure that they're all in this orientation to make it clean. And we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Next, we're going to fill in and cover up all of the roof color peeking through here with the golden wood stairs. We're also going to be using planks and the blocks as well. So we can kind of start up at the top here. We're going to fill in with the blocks here. We're going to go 2 to cover up the green. Now we can start in the bottom corner. I found it easier to start down here with the stairs. We're going to rotate these to basically match the pitch of the roof. And then anywhere you have 2 wide, we're just going to double up on those. And then from here, we're going to do the same thing. And then underneath these, you can see you don't want to put another stair. This is where we're going to go and switch over to the slabs. We're going to place those in like this. And then again, the stairs just above here. And just go through, and we're going to do this on both sides. We're basically going to cover up all the green again with the golden wood using all of these pieces. So here's a quick look of how things should be looking to this point. Just make sure you have this design locked in on both sides of your house before we move on to the next step. So this next detail is optional, but it does add a little flavor to the inside of here. You could take your stairs. We're going to place one just like that. And then right here, we're actually going to flip one upside down to the opposite profile, just like that. And we can actually break this out, and we could take our block. This is again the goldenwood block. We'll replace that part there, and then we're going to take our stairs and we're going to rotate one just like that. And it just gives you this nice little extra detail here. We can do the same thing over here on the other side. Again, one last time. We're going to rotate this inward right here. Let's flip one upside down, and then we're going to break this out here, replace it with the goldenwood block, and then another stair flipped upside down right here. I think it looks really neat. It just adds a little bit of extra detail to this roof line, or not roof line, but the side of the roof. You can do the same thing on the other side if you like the way that that looks. And similar to what we just did, we're actually going to go in here and we're going to start to pack in these to create a little bit more detail around our frame and where the windows are at. Now you can experiment with things like these stairs and these slabs, but we're just going to go and punch these in all of these areas. Now we're actually going to come around the back and remove these blocks that I'm showing right now. We need to recreate what we did in the front here. This is again optional, but I think it's overall going to balance out the house from the side profile much more. We're going to use our golden wood stairs just to create another little roof pitch on the front here. Let's remove this block, and we're going to grab our palm wood block. Again, we're just repeating these steps that we did in the front. Now, I do apologize, this could have been done sooner, but for whatever reason, this was an afterthought. Once we have that in, though, we're going to use our hardwood stairs now. We're just going to follow the pitch here. Let's flip this one the opposite way, just like that. Let's do the same thing over here on the other side. And then what we're going to do is let's grab the hardwood block, the full block. We'll stack two of these there, remove the one in the middle, stack another up top here. And then we're going to go down to the slab. Let's rotate this standing up, and then rotate one off the front and then one underneath here. Then we're going to do some cool detailing. We're going to use a corner here. This is the oak wood corner. We're going to drop two chains underneath, and we're going to show you how to do this again in the detailing phase with the lantern you can see there. Now let's cover this up. We're basically just going to shape this in. Let's remove these, drop the blocks in, and then let's add some stairs to add some width. Let's drop these also in the back to cover this up. Anything that you haven't done here covering up, we can also apply to the front as well for this part hanging over. We'll drop some stairs here again right there, and that looks pretty good. Now let's talk through everything we did to actually modify the exterior and detail everything to really have it stand out. First, we can start by the inventory and taking a look at what we've used. We've got hardwood slabs, the stairs. We've also got goldenwood stairs, palm tree branch, short, and then we have the white sandstone brick that we're going to add in some variation on the actual house itself. We got some different colored flowers. I definitely recommend adding pops of white and pink. We've got some of the red hanging and yellow hanging moss, iron chains and lanterns, and the oak branch for our lights. And let's talk about what we did with those. So starting from the bottom, I took the golden wood stairs and we actually attached those around every single one of the supports for our frame. I think it adds a nice wide footprint to the outside and just a little bit more detail. Also, if you kind of look up here, those palm wood short blocks that we put in, I put those on every single one of these pieces here in the front, and then we also have it on these two here. I think it adds a nice little touch. On the outsides, you can see we took these stairs and these slabs and created some additional hooks, which are really, really nice. Adds a nice wider footprint to the actual roof line. Then you can see, obviously, with the chains and lanterns we've hung here, we've also got a shorter one on the left side and made this intentionally longer on the right. Adds a little bit more personality. Also, what else we did, we went ahead and changed out these blocks here above the windows for the actual slabs. And then you can see the flowers that we put in all of the kind of garden beds that we put up top and on the bottom and around the sides and back of the house. We've also added some of the hanging moss up top there. We also have some on the left and a little bit of an additional chain right there as well. And then we created a branch that kind of comes off the front here. You can add those anywhere you'd like. You can see we've also replaced a couple of blocks here with the stairs on the top of the roof. It gives a nice little notched out detail. We added some additional stairs off the edges here. And then if you look, we also took some of the those corners that I was just talking about, the oak wood corners, and we've just got them randomly in spots here to add a little bit more personality and detail. You can see we have one hanging off the side here, and we also have some stairs hanging off here with that chain. Now let's take a look at what we've done on the inside just to give you some ideas. We didn't go crazy. Everything's actually relatively simple. We just kind of did some outlining of the walls with the hardwood. You can see here we went around the ceiling, created a beam, also hung up a little chandelier. We've got a lot of our workbenches kind of around the outside of the walls. We've got some shelves hanging up. Again, like I said, nothing too crazy. Some candles, a couple of chains, and some decor on the walls. Then we have a very small little bedroom over here off on the side of the house with some storage. And then you can climb up into the attic for some additional space. Now, we didn't do anything special up here. It's just pretty bland. But yeah, you have some additional light coming in through these windows and some other areas that you can decorate. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more tutorials.